Clint again from the Doorway 2. How the hell you all doing? Doing a very interesting band this time. Happy Halloween, all you fuckers out there. Anyway, it's a band called Nothing out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania on Relapse Records, and they just put a record out yesterday, which is absolutely blowing my mind. And it is called, hold on, I want to get you the right name, The Great Dismal. By a band called Nothing on Relapse Records. It's available on CD, vinyl, digital, every which way you want it, Relapse Records. Anyway, I would say shoegazing, alt, post-metal, elements of doom, elements of atmospheric metal. It has some really cool post-rock things going on in it as well, too. The shoegazing thing is pretty strong on this record. From what I can see, they're a four-piece. They've been around since like 2010, so they've been around forever, have a batch of records out. I just want to focus on this one right now because this one is absolutely kicking my ass. I've heard a few other records by them and never drew it to me like this one did before. But let's check out some of the tracks on The Great Dismal. Let's check out track number 1, which is called A Fabricated Life. So you get a good idea how it introduces itself. Reminds me of a lot of kind of certain styles. KO Dot, Psalm Zero, Chrome Waves, even Catantonia at times. There's just a lot of that kind of atmospheric, shoegazing, post-metal, post-rock vibes. Gonna jump into a couple of the tracks before we go even further into it. Looks like there's artists in this band and a lot of other projects too, but I want to focus on Nothing because this is one of the most impressive records I've heard on Relapse in quite some time. Again, The Great Dismal is what it's called. Let's just jump into track number 2, which is called Say Less. So I think you get the shoegaze there. That's where the whole slow dive, My Bloody Valentine, Curve, early Swerve Driver. I'd even say stuff like Catherine Wheel, and then Teenage Fan Club. So that's kind of where the more post-indie stuff comes from as well too. There's some really noisy avant-garde rock stuff as well going on here. Rather than ramble on about the interesting styles that are happening, let's just listen to another track. This one is track number 4, and it's called Catch a Fade.
Word, I was bored. A world that's turning makes me wary. Stumble through a work of art, something simple and defeating from the start.
So that's kind of where the indie punk kind of jangly Sonic Youth, Teenage Fan Club, Jesus and Mary Chain kind of vibe comes from as well. This band kind of mixes 3 distinct styles. It's that kind of noisy indie punk pop, kind of indie, noisy indie rock, and then that shoegazing meets metal kind of vibe. Really, really just impressed with what I'm hearing. It's not something you typically hear on Relapse records. So nothing is really kind of impressing me at the moment. I don't know a whole bunch about them. I did listen to their last record, which was Dance on the Blacktop, and kind of dug it, but it wasn't as expansive and interesting as this one. From what I'm looking at, this is the 4th record they have on Relapse, so maybe they've finally just gotten to their own. Looks like they've been with them since, right around 2014, 2013. So I think they might just be catching into their own. Just really, really love the vocal stylings that are going here. And then, like I said, it's just really, really, really impressive the way it's going on. It's 11 songs, I think, right? 10 songs, 46 minutes, so it's a really good length for this kind of music. Has really diverse, interesting things going on. I'm going to play you one more track, which is called Blue Mecca, and that is track 8. So here we go. So yeah, I think that's a good diverse show of this record. Shoegaze, Dreampop, Slowcore. Uh, you can even hear some stuff like Codeine and Lush in band like this. I guess they're associated with some pretty bigger bands too. Death Haven, Jesus Peace, things along those lines. So some well-known bands in the underground scene. I think you can hear some of the Death Haven elements in it, though Death Haven is much more an aggressive version of what this is. They're not as noisy, nothing. They're more, again, dream poppy or shoegazing mixed with that slowcore kind of metallic edge. Again, record came out yesterday, October 30th on Relapse Records. The Great Dismal. Band's called Nothing out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I will put links to their Bandcamp site to anything I can give you updates on as far as the band Nothing. And if you get a chance, it's on CD, LP, and digital. Relapse Records. One of the more impressive things I've heard in quite some time. You like what I'm doing? Like what I'm kind of throwing out there to you? Like and subscribe, YouTube, Facebook, doorway2.com. This is Clint. See ya.